Welcome back to our program. You can tell that we've added a person. We still have Rick Egan, and now we have Alicia Lewis.
Hi.
And Alicia, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tom.
Are you happy to be here?
I am happy to be here.
Okay. And Rick, thanks for coming back.
Absolutely.
I know that people still have their pencils and their paper, and they're taking these notes because it's so much information. And they've got so much information for you right now. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to them, and they're going to tell you more about what this program's all about.
Awesome. So when we were talking earlier, we were talking about how the state is leading in our country in suicide prevention efforts.
Yes.
But it's not just one office. It's not just one entity. It's many entities working together. And so over the past 2 years or so, I've been working with Nye County School District, Nye County Communities Coalition, and that's where Alicia comes in, because I am from Vegas, but Nye County is one of my counties that I'm responsible for suicide prevention efforts to help guide and have some of that outreach going on. And that's where Alicia comes in to help us with suicide prevention out here.
Okay, Rick, I'm going to ask you to move a little bit closer to Alicia so that you know that we're right on camera and everybody
like
can
you know
see
me.
exactly what
Pretend
we're
like I
talking
know
about.
you, right?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And so I want to turn it over to Alicia to let her explain some of the programs that are going on out here in Nye County that the Office of Suicide Prevention supports, and some of the things that you're doing in the coalition and in the school district.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rick. Well, since meeting Rick and getting teamed up with his coalition in Las Vegas, we've implemented quite a few things in the community. We have Safe Talk, which trains our community members how to be proactive in recognizing some of the signs of somebody that might be having suicidal thoughts and to get them to the proper help. We also have the SOS screenings that have been implemented.
Let's back up. Safe Talk.
Yes.
What's more about this program? Who's involved in it? Not just the trainers, but who else is involved in it?
Everybody. It's geared for ages 15 and up. So they have.
So we're talking about our students.
We're talking about our students. We're talking about our community leaders. We're talking about our police officers.
Great. Okay.
The entire community. And Safe Talk stands for Suicide Alertness for Everyone. It is for everyone. It is everybody's responsibility to be that lookout and to keep our eyes and ears open and to not be afraid to step up and say, hey, you know, I'm recognizing something's not right. Let's see what we can do to help you out.
Is this held in our schools at all?
Safe Talk is held on a community level.
Okay.
We do have a different version of a suicide alertness that is geared for our students that Superintendent Norton has promoted inside the school districts. Or
Okay.
school district, I should say.
And yes, Superintendent Norton had all of his school employees take Safe Talk, and that's going to continue for new employees and anyone over this next year that we haven't gotten into class yet.
Correct.
And that's highly supported because we want to make sure that all individuals that can be are suicide alert.
And we're not just talking employees, meaning teachers and administration. We're talking bus drivers, cafeteria workers, janitors, anybody that has access to our kids. We want to make sure that they're trained. We want to make sure that they are on the lookout because sometimes they're the ones that are going to pick up something that the teacher may not pick up on.
Or some of you in the community?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell us more.
So that would be at the community level.
Okay.
Inside the school district, we have the SOS screening, which is the signs of suicide screening. The signs of suicide screening is done in 2 parts. There is a video that all the students will view, and it's called the ACT. ACT is an acronym. It stands for Acknowledge, Care, and Tell. We want to teach our kids to acknowledge when they see that their peers are having a problem, let them know that they care about them, and then, of course, tell a trusted adult. So that video goes out to all the students during the school year. And then the second part of it is the actual screening process, and that is for the student individually. That does require parental permission. We want our parents to be involved in this process because this isn't just at an individual level. It affects the entire family. So of course we want our parents involved in it. Parents give permission for their students to be screened. Once their students are screened, then if they screen at a high risk, they are seen by a mental health professional immediately right there on campus. The coalition helps us to bring in mental health professionals to help with that process.
What kind of support are you getting from your parents?
We have a variety of support. We have some that are active supporters. There is unfortunately a large population that still is undereducated when it comes to suicide. They are afraid of the word suicide. They are afraid, if you screen my child and my child wasn't having thoughts of suicide, now that you've brought that word into their mind, now they are going to have them, and that's so far from the truth. You know, bringing out that opportunity for that child to speak isn't going to make them have thoughts that they weren't previously having, but what it is going to do is it's going to give them a safe environment to talk about it so that we can get them to the appropriate help so that we can avoid that end potential.
So parents, listen carefully to this, because you can be that first line of defense for your child. Sometimes the teachers can be, but you're there. And if we can prepare your child by giving them a safety net,
Absolutely.
something to help them, and all they need is your permission, support them on that. This is what this program's all about. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. And the SOS screening, it really does do kind of a twofold for us that are inside the school district. Okay. Not only does it give us an opportunity to protect our kids, which is the ultimate goal, and have that red flag, if you will, on the ones that need it, but it also gives us some information on kids that just might be having a little bit of a hard time. When we go through the SOS screening, the parents that give permission for their students to take place in it, every one of those kids meets with somebody. Now, granted, like I said, the high-risk kids will meet with a mental health professional immediately, and of course, parents are notified immediately. But all the other kids, they are talked to by somebody. So that gives us an opportunity to find out a little bit about a child that maybe wasn't already on our radar. And then, of course, that gives us the opportunity to check in with them regularly and to keep them on our radar. And sometimes just having that extra adult that's showing that little bit of extra of attention can make the biggest difference in the world. So it really does work twofold.
Okay.
It does. And that's signs of suicide. And understand that signs of suicide starts in middle and high school. That's where it's geared towards. So what do we do for our elementary students? What we do for our elementary students is social emotional learning program. And Nye County is on the tip of the spear with that. They're actually having a social emotional learning class come into the elementary schools, and we're going to watch and track that and see what happens with our students to be able to equip them to deal with life issues. Because it's really not appropriate for suicide prevention training in the elementary. Right. But when we teach them how to deal with life issues, that empowers them.
That helps. That's got to be a big help.
It's still suicide prevention, but it's upstream.
Yes.
And Nye County School District is on the tip of that. You guys are making that happen. And we're going to collect data from that and make sure what's going on and tweak the program so when it goes nationwide that we have something that is for them in suicide prevention. But we don't call it suicide prevention. It's social emotional learning.
Now that's a big attaboy for Superintendent Norton and all the teachers and all the administrators and everybody else that works within the school district.
Absolutely.
So this is fantastic to hear about it. And for Superintendent Norton, again, congratulations. He's doing a great job.
He is.
Absolutely.
Okay, more.
What else do we got? Youth mental health first aid.
We have youth mental health first aid. Youth mental health first aid is, it's a wonderful class. We do have an adult version of it that Kim will talk about later, but Youth Mental Health First Aid is, again, designed for our community members so that they can learn how to recognize not necessarily when a youth might be having a mental health crisis, but it teaches them how to navigate whether they may be having a youth mental health crisis or maybe it's just typical adolescence. A lot of times our adolescents go through these drastic changes, and it kind of seems with today's society, we're real quick to try to put everybody in a box.
Yes.
And Youth Mental Health First Aid is designed to teach people the difference between typical adolescent changes and a youth mental health crisis. It is a wonderful class. It's an 8-hour class. We did one about a month ago. We're looking at doing another one within the next, I think, 2 months. So coming up here pretty quickly as soon as we can schedule some dates.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from that?
Nothing but positive feedback.
Great.
Huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Huge effort going on across this whole state. And it's so needed because as a society, we don't talk about mental health issues.
Right.
And these classes with suicide prevention, suicide intervention, and youth mental health first aid and adult mental health first aid, we're talking about these taboo subjects. And you can't make things better unless you're willing to talk about it.
Right.
That's right. Okay.
Right. It's, kind of like going into the doctor and you have a broken arm, but you tell them to x-ray your foot. That doesn't work. You can't skip around the subject. You have to be direct. You have to get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, you won't be able to fix it. You won't be able to help it. So this really does shine a light on it, that it's not something that should be hidden. It's something that should be brought to the light and talked about freely, just like we're sitting here talking today.
And I think about all the things in Nye County that we have available. I just hope that everybody listening will take advantage of this and call the numbers that we keep putting on the screen so they can contact either Rick or Alicia and ask questions. What about this? Where can I find that?
Yes.
And these are the people that can answer the questions for you. And I know later on we're going to have Kim on, and Kim will also be giving them some information.
Absolutely.
So be sure to write all this information down and feel free to contact them when you have questions.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Okay. More?
What else we got going on? We don't want to take it from Kim, though. So
Kim has a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Kim always
okay.
has a lot to talk about.
So what about the fact that we, as a state, are trying to make all these classes that we provide the least cost possible? And we have the Nevada Coalition for Suicide Prevention, the nonprofit across this whole state that helps us prevent suicides, that helps us get the education out there, but they also help us pay for all this.
Oh,
and I
that's
think that's
fantastic.
huge. In Nye County, all the classes are free, is that correct?
They have been free, yes. The
Okay.
coalition has been a huge help in making sure that we can get this education out there.
Beautiful.
And then Rick's office has helped so that we can even get some of our trained professional CEUs. So again, another act that helps twofold.
Okay.
And that collaborative effort from the Nye County Communities Coalition and the Nevada Coalition for Suicide Prevention, the Office of Suicide Prevention, it's all these entities working together to bring continuity and training, meaning if you take a Safe Talk out here in Nye County and one in Las Vegas, it's the same class. Because you have to be certified to be able to present these classes, and that is a benefit across this whole state. And all the programs we support are either national or worldwide.
That is fantastic. Now you've heard all of this, and I know you're writing it down. I want you to be sure to get Rick's number. And if you have any questions, be sure to call him. If you have any questions for Alicia, be sure to get her number down and call her. And I want you to stand by because our next session is going to continue on what we've been already talking about. So stand by and wait for our next session. Thank you.